but the money is good. Happy New Year and cheers to every one of you. Welcome to the Captain's Quarters podcast. Good to see you there, Navigator Longwood and Hellfire.
Great to see you, Captain.
Good to see you too, Captain.
Time to start off another new year or a new year with some great ideas. And we've got some. We might share a few with you tonight. But we wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. Hope that you entered the year safely and healthy and stay that way for the entire 2022. On a sad note, I personally would like to say, hey, we've lost an icon in this country. Betty White was a fantastic person, a wonderful actress, a singer. She had done it all. And it's a tragic loss for everyone. And because she was so into animals, there's a call all around the world that on her birthday, the 17th, people are supposed to make some kind of donations to pet shelters or whatever else. And I think us as a crew, we're going to do the same thing. So be watching for it. We'll talk more about it in the next episode. How about question of the week? Question of the week. New Year's resolutions, yay or nay? There you go. Are you into them? Not into them? We'll find out when we start talking to our followers and our listeners. But we're going to do one more episode of Meet the Crew. Now, instead of bringing any other crew members in, most of you may know that Davey Longwood and Gunfire Henley there, they are part of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, which is now a part of the podcast. So I thought it'd be appropriate to let each one of them tell us why they are members of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers. Navigator, you're on deck.
Let's see. My wife, Dawn, and I joined, oh my gosh, I think we've been members of the Swashbucklers for 6-7 years now, maybe more. Time passes fast when you're having fun.
That's it.
As we happened to be downtown, and a member of the Swashbuckler crew met us, and they started talking to us and telling us about their group, all the charity work they do and stuff, and that just seemed to really spark my interest. I was instantly hooked, and so we came to a meeting, we joined. And during all this time and all the different events we've done, I get the most joy out of with the children. I have another persona. I have the Pirate Powder Monkey that we do at a lot of events for the children, which the children love. I like all the work we do for charity, especially like we do Make-A-Wish. Powder Monkey was there at the museum. There's nothing like seeing the look on some of these little guys' face when they come up to you and they're like, this is a real pirate. And especially I love giving out trinkets and stuff. And they just love that. That makes my whole life being able to do all sorts of stuff for the children. And that's one of the big reasons why I joined.
I have to tell everybody that Davey, as the navigator here and controls what's going on with our podcast, he also has the knowledge to help us with sound and lights at any of our events and our shows that we need that kind of technical work for. Davey's in charge of setting that all up, and it makes a big difference. So he's a very integral part of our crew. Now, Gunfire, our gunner, Hellfire Henley, he is brand new to our crew. Brand spanking new to our crew. He's been a part of the crew now for, 2 months, maybe 3 months?
Something like that, yeah.
So tell everybody why you joined or what you get out of it and be a part of the Meet the Crew.
Hello, everyone. So, I started this hobby about, I'd say about 2 years ago. I wasn't part of the crew then, but I started collecting pirate garb. I've always been one who dresses up. I've always loved cosplay and all that stuff. And when the game Sea of Thieves came out, I really loved it and wanted to pursue doing pirate garb. So around, I want to say it was Talk Like a Pirate Day of last year, I saw an ad on Facebook and asked if I could attend the event dressed up. And I'm really glad I did. That's where I met Captain Mayhem, and I met Navigator Davy there as well. And I'd say it was about a week or two after I joined the crew. And the reason I chose this crew is because I liked that this crew was mostly driven by the charity aspect. And for me, I think it's really awesome that we get to dress up like pirates and do all this fun stuff, but we're also making an impact on the community and doing amazing things for people in need. And I just really love it.
Well, we're glad to have you as a very important part of our crew. And the best part is he's young. So many of us are older. So we need the younger people to start joining our crew. It helps out when it comes to setting up and doing all the manual labor that we have to do. So that's two more of the crew. And every week we'll try to do another meet the crew and have people watching and being a part of it. No New Year's resolutions for me. Adam says resolutions are just an excuse to put off doing something you don't plan on doing anyway. That's a good one. New Year's resolutions, they don't last very long. Why make a plan for a resolution to do for the new year that is so easily put off to the following year? Or that's just, what's the word I want now? That's just procrastinating. There's the word. That's just a procrastination right there. There's been a couple of times I've made some New Year's resolutions, but yeah, within a few days they're gone. I think that if you have to make resolutions to change your behavior and your habits, then why do it just at the first of the year? Why not do it all year round? That's just my thought. Anyway, great information, great ads or answers to our question. Anybody else can still weigh in on it. Crew happenings, ladies and gentlemen, we had our first crew meeting. The St. Augustine Swashbucklers had the first crew meeting of the year, which was yesterday afternoon, and we did it via Zoom. We had 28 members of the crew sign in, and we had a wonderful meeting. It was 2 hours long, mostly probably because the captain talks too much, but it was a great meeting. We accomplished a lot. We set aside our calendar for the whole year. And the only sad part is, and this is the first official announcement, tomorrow there will be a printed announcement all over Facebook. We will be postponing Old City Pirate Festival 2022 to the year 2023. It's normally held the last weekend of January. We had 4 successful runs, 4 years. Then last year we did not do it because of COVID specifically. This year, COVID is only a part of the answer or part of the reason. We want to go strong and make sure that we are moving along with some of the other events we have to do. Easier to make small quarterly goals to achieve than to make large yearly ones. I would agree with that, except when it comes to behavior. If you say I'm going to start the new year treating everybody better than I have in the past, that should be something you should do all the time anyway. But if it's to lose weight or to stop smoking, yes, I would agree with you. Small doses make it easier to do. Very good thought. I appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Old City Pirate Festival, you have to do what is best for the crew and other crews that come to support the event. You're absolutely right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Old City Pirate Fest has been put off, but it doesn't stop us. Our Midsummer Nights Gala will be June 18th. We still will do the Spooktacular in October, the Christmas Village in December, and we have one surprise, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit when our special guest is sitting on screen with me. And in fact, I think that's a perfect segue to our special guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring our special guest on. There he is, right there. That he has been here before, and we decided to have him back because what better way to start off the year than to talk about rum, as pirates often do. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Gillette, the River Pirate, at your service.
Ahoy, mates.
Hi. It's good to have you back, Jason.
Thank you, Captain, for the invite.
We enjoyed having you last time, and we got to drink some rum and have some good times and talk about rum. Max, you stay down now. Come here. You stay down. Very good. Max wants to be in the scene too, so we have found that if we just let Max be in and not keep him out of the room, he won't bark so much, and he gets to be included. So, and then eventually he'll go sit down and ignore us because he's bored with us. Let's just hope the watchers aren't bored with us, right? Aye. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Jason here. Jason, what have you been up to? Tell everybody you just came back from a trip.
Yes, I since the plague had abated a little bit, I decided to sail to the Caribbean.
As a right pirate should. That's
Yes.
a good one.
And went a little more luxurious this time. Wasn't having to swab any decks.
Well, that's good.
And there was plenty of rum aboard. That's all you really need to tell me, and I'll be right on board. But yeah, it was a great trip.
So you went to Jamaica and Bimini.
Bimini, and I've never been to Bimini before.
That would be an interesting
Now
run.
That'll be the 11th Bahamian island I visit.
And you got to meet a fellow rum aficionado.
Yes. I remember I got to meet Captain Nia on my drive down to Pompano Beach, and
Didn't she tune into our last episode
She
when
did.
you were here? So
She sure did.
if she's there now, hello. It's great to have you back. If not, we hope that we can entice you to maybe do an episode with us online. But tell us more about what you did.
so I learned as a pirate I'm not really a horse person. So my wife wanted to go ride horses to the ocean, and I had never been on a a English saddle before. I've been on a Western one, but not a English. I didn't realize there was such a difference. And it's amazing how well you can see on a horse when you realize that the rocks of death are below you. And if you fall off the horse, it's going to hurt, and you're probably, I was just thinking, the travel insurance will cover my evac to Miami, so we'll be okay. But she loved it. I just did it. Took one for the team.
First time on a horse?
No, I've been on one of the Western Saddle, which was at the canyons over in Ocala. But this was on another scale because I couldn't hold on to anything. And then the horse, we went through the water on this horse. And I swear, Captain Mayhem, I thought I was going to drown with the horse. I thought, I hope the bull sharks are not hungry today, because it was fun. It was great. Got to see, got to pick up some really great rums in Jamaica. Some I'd never even heard of. I was kind of laughing myself watching everybody running to the Appleton Estate rums and all the ones that everybody we can get here.
Right.
I was running to the ones that you can't get here. I actually picked up a rum called Whalers out of Hawaii.
Really?
I've never
Have you
seen
tasted it yet?
Yeah, I tasted it. Yes, I did. I tried it, and it's actually it makes a great cocktail rum.
Oh, very good. Well, we might have to try that. We may have to have a rum night here at the captain's quarters and just have a whole bunch of rum and make it a 1.5 to 2 hour event, just so everybody can have the fun of watching the captain slowly slip in to an inebriated state. Which is something that I did last night after the crew meeting. Leon, one of the crew members who everybody has seen on the show, and Mr. Kreider, they stayed for a bit, and we got into a bottle of Centenario,
Oh wow.
and the bottle's empty now. So the Centenario is a good one. It's one of Mr. Kreider's favorites. So
It was right out of Costa Rica.
yes, he's very fond of that rum, and he had a bottle, and we did it justice. We did it justice. But speaking of rums, let's try a couple.
Absolutely.
I brought one. This was given to me as a Christmas present, and how shamefully disrespectful I am for not remembering who gave this to me. But it's called Stone's Throw Rum. I looked at it and didn't even give it any attention right away because I went, wow, that's a new rum. Never heard of that. And then the other day when I picked it up, after talking with Jason and making plans to be here, I noticed that this is a St. Augustine Distillery rum, Stone's Throw Rum. So I don't know if this is their newest addition or their newest flavor, but we have it. I cracked the plastic on it, so we're ready to taste it and see what it's like. And we're going to try it neat to start with. And allow me.
Got a nice, pretty amber color to it.
It has a good color. It has a nice smell.
Oh yeah, wow.
I guess I should put my glasses on so I can read a little bit off the bottle, see if I can tell what the smell is. What do you think it is? You're the aficionado here.
Well, it's definitely they're using
It's
their
port matured.
Yeah, it's definitely a not like a sweet smell, although I can smell the booze in it.
Yeah. You can smell the alcohol,
Yeah.
but it's got a, I guess that's a port. It's got a wine smell to it. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
It's like a sweet, kind of a sweet.
a sweet wine smell to it. So, cheers up.
Cheers.
And to the crew. It's good until you swallow it.
Well, my sinuses are all cleared up.
It's
I was a little worried about that one before. It's got a nice flavor. I like the I'm gonna take another sip. I want to make sure.
it's got a great flavor, but it has the harsh back.
Yeah, it's got a punch at the back of the throat.
But it's not bad. I would drink this. I would share this with people. I like this one. This is not bad. I've had some of the other St. Augustine Distillery rums and not been a big fan of them. But this might change me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't care for their pot still rum, but this one's better.
This one's better.
I would give this a little. This is not bad. I mean, the distillery is only a stone's throw away from where I live.
Maybe that's why it's called Stone's Throw.
Might be.
You caught that one good, eh? No, it's not bad. I like it. I wonder what it's like if you chilled it.
I don't know. Let's
Let's
find
drop an ice cube in it.
All right.
Sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time. If you know anything about drinking any alcoholic beverage, it's a chemical, and if you change the temperature of the chemical, it can change the flavor of the chemical. And when it comes to rum, there are some rums that are great, neat, better, cool. There are some that are not so great. You know, put an ice cube in them. So,
It softens it.
ooh,
That changed it.
it changed it a lot. The backbite is gone.
Yep.
Wow. I may have found a rum I actually like if I wanted it with an ice cube. So, what would be cool the weekend of the induction for those that come in early is to hit some of the breweries there. I think Ransom. I believe that some of the sorry about that. Something just popped on the other screen there. I believe that there's planned events for the whole weekend, and going to any of the breweries. For that weekend, we're talking about the last weekend of February, which is Order of Leviathan. The meet and greet is at a brewery. But I think with everything else that's going on, everybody have to be on their own either the Thursday night or the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after the weekend to visit wherever they want. So I kind of like that. What are you saying?
Yeah, I do. I think this again. I did not care for their pot still rum, but adding the ice, it's even better. It just takes that bite away from it.
It does. The bite's gone, and I like that. Very good. But that was the opening act, so to speak, because we have a different rum that has never been tried by either of us. And let's let the River Pirate tell you all about it.
All right, I'm going to raise some hell around here. It's called Demon Rum.
Demon Rum.
I have there's a guy that's kind of in charge of Demon Rum marketing. Reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got a rum I want you to try." So he sends me this bottle. And great, I'm all game. I said, "What do you want?" No, it's complimentary. I said, "Great."
Complimentary is always good.
I don't complain about that.
Whenever anybody ever asks me what my favorite rum is, I always tell everybody my favorite rum is free rum. Free rum.
Keep it free. But long story short, this rum here, the rum company where it's based out of is Hudson, Wisconsin. And you say, is that where the distillery is? No, there's really no distillery. They bottle rum they get from the Caribbean. The owners, I got a message from them. They said that there's just too much high quality rum out there in bulk that they don't need a distillery. They can just buy it and then make it their own by barreling it. This one is called Demon Spiced Rum, and it 80 proof. They use all the rums sourced from the Caribbean. It's bottled in St. Genevieve, Missouri. It's quite an impressive bottle. I have to give you that. Their theme is it's unleash your demon.
And they're not. Are these the ones that you told me they're not really interested in anything having to do with pirates?
No, they don't. And that's what confused me because they have it's called. There's a new captain in town. So I thought they were trying to say is, hey, this supersedes Captain Morgan. This is what we're doing. We're going to be the new captain in town. But that's not why. What the new captain in town is, it's kind of what do you call it? And I'm from Wisconsin, and I'm not really familiar with the nuances of phrases, but it's basically the newest pretty girl in the bar. So I didn't know that. All right, well, we see we have a cork, a rubber cork.
Oh,
Those corks.
that's a start.
So
Adam is saying that he can order Maddie from Browdy's and they will ship it anywhere in Florida. You're absolutely right. Very good. Ooh, it has a different smell.
I mean, smell it. Let's see. Oh wow!
If it smells as good as it tastes, this might be a pretty good rum.
It won in 2017 in Las Vegas. Got a bronze medal. I looked it
Did
up.
it really?
Yeah, and it's supposedly smooth enough neat and can be mixed. They say it's a hell of a rum. Sorry, I was making another demon joke. Sorry, I just can't. The name's so cool. I don't know. I just like it.
Well, Demon Rum, I mean, if you're going to sell something, you might as well come up with a really good name. Don't you wish, Davey and Hellfire, don't you wish you could have some of this right now?
I
Let's see
I'm
what it
okay.
tastes.
You can have my share, Captain.
That's an interesting taste. Almost like a smoky,
Sweet.
sweet, smoky.
It still has that backbite.
Yeah, it does, but definitely sweet. It's like almost like a
Sweet molasses.
yeah. The first thing that came to my mind when I sipped this was, have you ever taken barbecue sauces from Missouri and to put on a chicken.
Maybe that's what they infuse this rum with is barbecue sauce,
It's got that almost that really nice
I
flavor,
think it has that
sweet
smell,
barbecue.
too.
Yeah. Wow,
which
I
is
never-
probably the molasses.
And I guess now I see the demon analogy because of the fire.
Yeah.
That's why that's where they're going with this. Now it's making more sense. Oh, Bombardo. Yeah, I talk to them all the time on Instagram.
Oh, is that different than bamboo?
No, yeah, Bombardo. I think they're located down in Miami. I think that's where they're. I mean, I don't know if the rum company's there, but that's where they.
Well, we'll have to look for that. That'll be another rum that we can have. It's just coming to my idea that we may have to have the River Pirate as quite a regular here, so that we can enjoy rum on a regular basis.
All right, so the guy said,
Let's try a little bit of ice.
let's see what happened.
What changes it in any way, shape, or form. Ladies and gentlemen, Demon Rum is very good.
You can see if ice puts out the hellfire.
All right, to your health. Oh,
This is good.
this is good rum.
This is really good.
Chilled, it's great. I won't drink it neat. So, is this Demon Rum available anywhere in Florida?
Well, according to them, you can order it in 31 states.
What?
They can ship to 31 states. They're working on trying to get it here in Florida. I know they have a silver rum they make that's out of the Virgin Islands, but so my answer to you is I don't know yet. No, I don't really see. You know, that's the funny thing
Well,
about me. I have a very high tolerance for rum.
He's referencing
What?
my other half
Oh,
made it known that after drinking rum in quantities last night, that space of floor over there on the other side of the chest,
right.
that's where I slept for about 3 or 4 hours.
Ah,
I didn't make it past the floor, but
well, sleeping on the deck is okay.
hey, I'm a pirate.
They did that.
I'll sleep wherever. That's actually really good, chilled.
I like
really- that
I
shit.
like this one. Dang, I had no idea.
And you know what? That flavor, this would pair up really nice with a cigar.
Yes, it would.
I like that. I'd
Yeah.
like to have a one more little
Let's
little
get
spritz.
Yeah, let's get some splash in there.
That ought to do me. Ladies and gentlemen, Demon Rum. That's a good rum.
This is a hell of a rum.
Hell of a rum. My goodness. I bet the devil made you say that.
Yeah, I think if you, I see where they say unleash your demon. You drink enough of this, you'll be talking like Sybil.
This is a good rum. I like this. So they're not really well. So here's the mystery and the secret that I alluded to earlier of one of the events that St. Augustine Swashbucklers will be participating in as a major player. There is talk with the Colonial Quarter and the Pirate Museum to create a St. Augustine Rum Festival. We have some possibilities of dates. It will be in the summertime. And we have some ideas on direction we want this to go. One of the conversations was that we would not bring in major rum. There'd be no Captain Morgan. There'd be no Bacardi. We probably wouldn't worry about Kraken. Any major rum that's out there. What we want to do, and we're hoping that the Florida Rum Society would join in forces with us and join us. I'll have another one of those ice cubes when you get down.
Yeah.
And do the small rum distilleries throughout all of Florida. There is only one major rum company that may be a part of this, and that's Blue Chair Rum, Kenny Chesney. they've expressed an interest also. So we're looking at that possibility. Oh, look, the Powder Monkey is watching us now too. So we have the potential of a great rum festival, but we want it to be rums like Demon Rum or the St. Augustine Distillery. City Gates has already said yes to it. So we know we're bringing them on board. But there's small rum distilleries all over Florida. And we'd like to host at least 15 different rums. That's our goal. I am working on a rum fest here in Panama City Beach. That would be great. Maybe let's make sure that we talk about dates so we're not doing it on top of each other. That would be terribly anti-productive.
No, I'm not thinking of that. I think of drinking and driving.
Yeah, well, that too.
City all the way here. Oh.
Yes, that would be a long trip. But we're thinking of making this a rum fest that features the rums of local distilleries stretching all the way down the coastline, and there's a lot. So if any of our rum aficionados are watching, because we advertised that Mr. River Pirate was going to be here, drop us a line and let us know what we can do to bring you in on it. The Colonial Quarter area is a great area to do an event like this, and we're looking forward to it. The date has pretty much been decided on. We just haven't set it in stone yet, and we probably won't set that date at least for another 3 or 4 weeks. And then we will start doing what we can to make it a big event. We're hoping to have music. Obviously, we'd have pirate music. I'm hoping very much to have my good friend, Tom Mason from Nashville, Tennessee, come out and play for us. And we'll look at some local performers around the area also. Christy and Adam, who are part of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, for sure I know that they will play. We want them to be a part of it. So that's the secret mystery that we wanted to share. And we want to make sure that the River Pirate is a very focal point of that. We can't have a rum fest without bringing the River Pirate in. So we'll probably have a podcast booth set up for that event. And we'll invite the River Pirate to be a part of our podcast family, because he's done 2 shows with us already, and nobody else has done 2 shows. So he's a part of the family now, part of the crew all the time. You heard it. We say it. So there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is some good rum.
I know.
This is some very good rum.
It's what a surprise. I mean, really, I had no idea.
Chilled, cold.
Well, good. No, the biggest surprise is it was no cost.
No cost. That's good.
There's one thing when you buy it and then you go, I don't like it.
Do you know what it goes for a bottle?
No, I forgot to ask him about it.
Oh.
I was only worried about what I was charging me.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, Demon Rum, if you can find it, we're not sure where you can get it yet, but we'll be working on it. Who is the contact point who we should direct local distilleries to? They can email William Mayhem, wmmayhem@yahoo.com. That would be a good start off the top of my head. That's a good start. We'll probably direct them over to Swashbucklers Plunder or Mayhem Productions email down the road. But for now, that's a good start. It is a good rum, and that taste, that sweet taste, is still there. It hasn't left. It's
very surprising.
I like it.
I was really I just kept my opinion reserved to find out if it was going to be, was it just going to be another version of Captain Morgan, another version of Bacardi, or just just like a little.
No, it's better than those two.
Yeah, definitely, it's really good. I see why they're.
So you'll have to call the. I've already talked to a distributor. Very good. Give us the possible dates of Theta. I'm sure your typing needs. Are you drinking rum, Ransom Mayhem?
Yeah,
your typing is not exactly right. No, this is good. I like it. And ladies and gentlemen, we will make sure that we put some information out there if we find out that it's available anywhere here in Florida.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
So how did they send it to you? Did they see one or follow some of your rum reviews?
Yeah, they did. They follow all my rum reviews, which I find flattering. But I realize that if you want to know what the competition's doing, you come watch me drink it and see what I say, right?
Right.
I'm not really a rum snob, so it's pretty black and white when I do it. they think that I think they wanted me to. I'm trying to remember what review I did. In fact, I know what I did. I think they were following me after I did Baku out of Dominican Republic, because that one uses a we call it a it's like the if you read the ingredients, you think it was like health food, but it's a rum. Everything is organic, everything is recyclable. Um, it's and it was sometime after that. And a Baku is a demon that lives in a bottle, or well, spirit lives in a empty bottle out on the ocean. That's
That's the
the
story.
story. And you open it, you release the spirit, and he'll grant you a wish. You know, of course, if it was an empty bottle, I'd be like, "Can you fill this?" But but anyways,
So Ransom Mayhem is asking if it's a
vanilla taste.
vanilla taste. That's VANILLA, but that's okay. Vanilla taste. I don't know that that's vanilla.
The best thing I can tell you is I don't think if you've ever had St. Louis barbecue sauce, not spicy, just that real sweet barbecue sauce, where you get that little bit of smoke in it, and you get that real sweet flavor to it. That's what it reminds me of.
I think it's molasses, but I could be wrong.
You're probably
I
right.
think it's molasses.
I think it is. That's what's probably creating it.
Yeah. No, I have only one eye. That's true, Ransom. You only have one eye. So you used it in vanilla.
Well, keep an eye out for it.
Well, so if we find out where we can get this, we'll start letting everybody know. Maybe we can entice them and rum to, hey.
And what do you think about it against the Stone's Throw?
It's really sad to put a rum out of my own hometown away, but between the two, I give Demon the credit.
Well, I'm sure once they are in Florida, you can conjure some up.
Conjure some.
I've been working on these demon jokes. Sorry.
Yes.
But they're good. I mean, and the irony of the whole thing is that Hudson, Wisconsin. I was in New Richmond, Wisconsin, back in 2000, and that's right next door. I mean, it's literally the town right next to it. It's right across the border from
It's
Minneapolis,
Max.
Minnesota.
He's upset that he's not getting any rum.
He's probably thinking that, man, it smells like barbecue sauce. But
Yeah, that might be what it is. He thinks it's barbecue
oh
sauce.
man, where's my bone? But yeah, it's kind of interesting that my home state that I was born in, I'm actually finally the company is based there. I'm having a rum from there, but the rum actually is sourced, like I said, in the Caribbean.
Well, see if you. I'm sure now you're going to have to send them a message and tell them that we did.
Try
this.
it, yeah, absolutely.
And we'll make sure that they have a link to this so they can watch it.
They
They
can
may
see
not
it.
want to watch the whole program, but we give it. You know what? We're going to have to start coming up with when you do your rum. Do you have like 5 Pinocchios or four any kind of a grading scale yet?
I
Have you ever
do,
done
but
that?
I have to keep it in. I have to we call it put the rum in its category. This rum here, because of the flavoring and the type of rum it is. Can you sip it? Oh yes.
Yes.
Is it a spice rum? Oh yes.
Yes.
Is it like they're barrel aged, but there's no date on it, so it can be a year. It could be 2. I have no idea what the barrel age. So it's not like I would compare this to, maybe like a Florida Cana or a
Because Florida Cana, Centenario, which is what I drank last night.
I'd more classify as it can do 2 things really good. It can mix, just tasting it, and you can drink it neat. I think this would be something that would be more premium than any of the Morgans and the Bacardis. If someone said, "Hey, I've never had rum before. What do you recommend?" And if I had this available for them to try, this is what I would be picking, because I can tell you
But you would give it to them with an ice cube
in it. And
Yeah.
say, "Hey, you know what? You're gonna love this. It's a hell of a rum." And so the demon will, it'll bring the demon out in you. So, yeah, I would say on a scale just because it has a flavor to it, I would say it's up there at 9. I mean, easily a 9. But the flavor, I like this. This is really good. I did get to try a rum that I haven't tasted it a little bit, but I haven't really given a full review from Jupiter, Florida, and they're using a flavoring that's not a vanilla. It's I'll think of it in a second, but it's one of those things where is it a mixer or is it something I'm going to bring me? The one from Jupiter, Florida, definitely a mixer. It's just like Code Rum. I never think of Code Rum as something that's sip. I always think of it, hey, what am I going to put that in?
Right.
This, we just had it on ice, and we're like, wow, this is freaking great.
See, and I'm not a big fan of taking rum and putting anything in it. So if you have to put something in your rum, then I'm not a drinker of it. Occasionally now I will drink, because I've started drinking a lot more of fruit juices and Tampico.
Oh yeah,
and Tampico does very well with some of the rums because it's got a natural sugar in the Tampico also. So those are the times that I will mix something. 9 times out of 10, I want a glass, rum, and maybe an ice cube.
Yeah,
and that's it.
That's the same way I am.
Especially when I want to smoke a cigar.
If I'm on a boat, drinks are great. I don't mixers and stuff like that. They're fun. It's like a fancy looking cocktail. I love those. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy them a lot. But every once in a while, you just want that cigar that just really matches your rum. And this one is a really, I'm impressed. I had no idea when he sent it to me. We were going to do the video back in Halloween.
Yes, we were. We
never got. We just didn't. The stars didn't line up. But this, man, I'm impressed. I had no idea. I was kind of thinking, it'll be good. I just don't know how great. But now we put it up against my local rum distillery that's a stone's throw away from me.
And let's not shortchange the St. Augustine Distillery, because they make rum, they make gin, they make bourbon, and their bourbon's good. I have bourbon. I'm not a bourbon drinker, but I have their bourbon in my cabinet. Their gin is good.
Their gin is fantastic. I love it.
And their gin is good enough that you can drink straight.
Yep.
That's a good tell for gin, that you can drink it straight. But this is probably their 4th or their 5th edition or 5th batch. They've been in existence now for what, 6 or 7 years, I think.
At least they were kind of trailblazer of getting distilleries in Florida.
Yes, they were
the ones that got us.
They did a lot of work to make sure that the laws and the legalities of distilleries in Florida. They were the main advocate behind all
they're
that.
Trailblazing. That's great.
And so they I've gone through their distillery and I know the owners, and I'm honest with them, as I would be honest with any rum person. And it shouldn't be a negativity if you tell somebody that your rum isn't great, but you should, as you do when you do your rum videos, and as we do here, we try to give everybody all the facets of how you could drink it, how you should drink it, and what different directions it can go.
Right.
This one was better chilled.
It was, and I'd actually say that might actually appeal to somebody who likes whiskey and bourbon.
Yes.
They would probably, and then maybe that's what their thought process is, because that really is. I mean, anywhere I've ever gone where I've said St. Augustine, and they said, "Oh, okay, we have distilleries. What's St. Augustine Distillery?" The first thing I hear is bourbon.
Yeah.
It's gotten that from. I mean, it's out there. They know it. The public knows it.
In the hierarchy, no, that's not the word I want to use. In the ladder of success, successful people talk about drinking bourbon or whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Rum is on the bottom of the scale. A lot of people don't know. I mean, there's so many rums, and we're going to have to do an episode on the history of rum, because rum is very historically attached to the Caribbean and the colonies of the United States. Very much.
Washington, Washington, they don't have
Yes, he was a rum drinker. He was not a whiskey drinker. He was a rum drinker, as were several of the others. Because rum was a staple, and historically, in this time frame, 1700s, there were some points in history that rum, a barrel of rum, was worth more than a pound or two of gold.
Yeah.
Rum was more valuable than gold because rum was a commodity for trade, and sometimes the rum was just more important to people than the gold was.
It was, yeah, because you know, you gotta, it's and as I know you would know more than that because I'm a big history buff, but you know, I always have to check to make sure it's true when I talk to Captain Mayhem because I'm always like, is that really fake news or is that real? But one thing I do know is that like the British Navy, you'd have a mutiny if they didn't get their rum ration. Because it kind of kept everybody in line. It was something to look forward to.
And that rum that they are traditionally known for was Pusser's rum. And you've done videos on Pusser's rum.
Yeah.
I've had Pusser's rum before. I think it's pretty harsh at times. I'm not the older, and it's just that's the same thing for any rum. Some of the older rums that have been aged and distilled longer, they taste much better. And my favorite is Admiral Nelson's Blood.
Well, Nelson's Blood, yes.
Pusser's rum. Now, it's my favorite because there's a fond memory that I have with that rum. That a very good friend of mine and my wife's passed away several years ago, and when he got ill, he had to stop drinking rum. But about a week or so before he died, he said, "You know, I've never tried Admiral Nelson's rum, and I should try it." So we secured a bottle, and there was me and a couple of others that went and sat, and we drank the bottle together.
That's awesome.
And about 2 weeks later, he passed on. So it gives me, it was harsh rum too.
Oh, sure.
But it gives me great memories of my friend. And we were sad with his passing, but the memories make it better.
And I think you also mentioned one time that the rum we're drinking today isn't what they were drinking back then, because their distilling methods were different.
It wasn't just the distilling methods. It was, although I guess that would be the main root cause or to the whole thing, is their potency on the rum. You could get a barrel you could drink the whole barrel and it wouldn't do anything to you. And you could get a barrel that you could drink a glass full and knock you on your arse. There was no, and they paid taxes. The British charged taxes based on the potency of the rum. And so many people that sit around my fire in my backyard when we have rum nights, once in a while you'll see me take a swig of rum and then spit it in the fire. If we get nice flames out of it, that's potent rum. There are some rums that if you spit it in the fire, you take the chance of putting the fire out.
Yeah.
So the British actually would take a small ladle of rum and drop a match to it. If it lit on fire, they taxed it more. So if it didn't light on fire, they wouldn't tax it as much. And so I quite imagine, I don't know this to be true, but I quite imagine that in many cases they would put the less potent there for the tax revenuer to test. And then once he had walked away, they put it all together with the more potent stuff so that they would have better rum.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that not knowing that it's totally true, but knowing human nature, yeah, I would say that's true. So rum was very important, especially in the islands where natural fresh water was not readily available on every island.
Yeah.
So rum was very important. So rum is a very important part of pirate life, colonial life, American history life, but it's not. And if you took one of my tours in the Pirate Museum, we talk about the difference between pirates that partied all the time and didn't, and when they did and when they couldn't. And of course they did.
Right.
Because pirates did know that their time was short. but they enjoyed their rum, and they enjoyed, and rum was more common. There was whiskey and bourbon, and I don't even think bourbon was common in this time frame because I see not very many references to it. But I know there's whiskey,
Right.
and if you start researching the 1880s in the West, they made whiskey out of everything,
Yeah.
including soap, just to give it a frosty head for the beer. It's strange. So that's a good rum.
Good. Excellent.
I like that demon rum. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a good episode talking about rum. What do you say there, Navigator? We done pretty good?
Aye, Captain. We still have history.
We do, and we're running out of time. So let me throw a couple of history points out there. But I know that you made a video, right?
I did.
So let me throw a couple of points out there. History, we want to keep this as an episode in every one of our shows. And there's a couple that I found that are really interesting. Here's one that I found is really interesting, and it has ties to 1942 and 2000. All the same thing. Here it is. The Fighting Sullivan Brothers. January 3rd, 1942. The 5 Sullivan brothers from Iowa enlist in the United States Navy with a stipulation that they all have to serve together. All 5 of the brothers serve together. The Navy allows it to happen. 10 months after their basic training, and they're out on the ship, they're in the Guadalcanal, and the ship is sank, and all 5 of them are lost. All 5 brothers died together. It was the greatest military loss by any one American family during World War II. But now let's go to 2000. Because of those 5 brothers, there was a ship, still is, called the USS The Sullivans. It was attacked by Al Qaeda in January 3rd, 2000, the same day as they enlisted in 42, but now we're in 2000. The ship was attacked by the Al Qaeda with a boat filled with explosives as part of the 2000 millennium attacks that the Al Qaeda would do. But the attackers' boat was so overloaded with explosives that they sank before making it to the ship. Al Qaeda would successfully make another attack on the USS Cole later that year. Many of my friends that are in the Navy will remember that. Here's another one that I thought was appropriate for us. 12 Years a Slave. Becomes a movie, but it's actually based on a true story that starts in January 3rd, 1853. Solomon Northup regains his freedom after spending 12 years in slavery. Born a free black man in New York, he was kidnapped and sold into slavery in Louisiana, where he spent 12 years working on a plantation. He was eventually able to get word to the governor of New York, who helped Northup regain his freedom. James Birch, the slave trader who kidnapped and then sold him, was arrested, but acquitted because District of Columbia law, where Northup was kidnapped, prohibits blacks from testifying against whites. Northup went on to write his memoirs, 12 Years a Slave, which became a national bestseller and was made into an Oscar-winning movie, 12 Years a Slave, in 2013. That's a nice piece of history, and as we know, we like to talk about history here, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That's good.
Let's go back to 1521. January 3rd, Martin Luther is excommunicated because of his heretic ways against the Catholic Church. As I've always said, Lutherans are nothing more than rebellious Catholics. How about 1925? The first woman United States governor. Her name was Nellie Taylor Ross. She becomes the governor when she won by special election after her husband, the previous governor, died in office. Here's one for all of you that have to jump on the bandwagon about minimum wage. The year is 1914. The day is January 5th, this week. Henry Ford, the automaker, announces an unprecedented $5 a day, minimum wage for his employees, doubling the current wage of his assembly line workers and the high pay attracted so many people of hopeful employees for the job that there were riots breaking out everywhere, and the crowd had to be dispersed by fire hoses. And 1818, January 5th, the James Monroe set sail on its maiden voyage from New York to England. It is the first actual real cruise line.
Oh, wow.
Cruise line. They left on January 5th. They arrive on February 2nd. Almost 30 days for a cruise. I wonder how much that would cost in today's market.
Oh, wow.
And how about one more? Well, actually, two more. If we go over our time today, we're all right. People like what we're doing. How about George and Martha Washington tie the knot on January 6, 1759. George Washington marries Martha Custis. Martha was a widower with 2 children. She brought great wealth to the marriage, enabling Washington to buy land and add more slaves to what he already owned. And the 2 children that she brought to the marriage, both ages 4 and 6, George Washington adopted. If any of you do not know, Martha Custis Washington was Robert E. Lee's grandmother. And my family heritage is Robert E. Lee, all the way back to Martha Washington.
Wow.
Here's one that I just have to tell you because it seems humorous to me. Henry VIII marries his 4th wife on January 6, 1540. He takes his 4th wife, Anne of Cleves. Later displeased with his new wife, he executed the first minister, Thomas Cromwell, who had arranged the marriage. That should be a good hint that nobody should be into matchmaking.
That's right.
All right. And this one here actually goes to pirates. January 8th, 1815. Although the Treaty of Jeannette, I'm sure I just pronounced that wrong, ended the War of 1812, it had been signed 2 weeks earlier. News had not arrived in time to prevent this battle. The battle was the Battle of New Orleans. The most lopsided victory for the U.S. of the war, and future President Andrew Jackson led a mismatch of about 4,500 soldiers, locals, and even pirate crew Jean Lafitte against 8,000 British regulars. The British had no clue how to fight in the swamps, and Jean Lafitte and his pirates succeeded in whooping them badly. There's even a song about it. Johnny Horton and the Battle of New Orleans. So those are the ones, Mr. Navigator, that I thought were appropriate for our show. But I am curious to see what you've got.
All right,
So bring it on.
Great.
Mr. Navigator, I commend you. I like that. That was wonderful. Very good. Very good. I think that might be the way we need to start presenting our This Day in History from now on.
I agree.
The captain does not need to be reading all this. We just need to collaborate, and that should be a good way for you to do it. This was great. That was a wonderful job you did there, Mr. Navigator. I appreciate it greatly.
Thank you, Captain.
I don't have anything else that we want to talk about other than one thing. I want to invite anybody that's watching to let your crews know, let your captains know. We would like to feature a crew once a month. Any crew at all. All they have to do is contact us and say they'd like to be a part. We can even bring the captain of the crew or a representative of the crew here to the studio or via online to represent their crew and tell us about your crew. The St. Augustine Swashbucklers want to share the airwaves with any and all other crews. We have some crews that are already interested. We are working out details with them now, and we hope that maybe any of you that are watching will pass it along. We'd love to have other crews here. We're also looking at sponsorship. We'd love to have anybody be sponsors of this show. We have some great offers to make, and any sponsor that joins up will be a part of this poster that we put up at every show to show that you're part of what we do. We also would like to dedicate one show for you that would talk about your business or your sponsorship. And we have the wonderful ticker tape that will run along the bottom of the screen that shows all contact information for our sponsors and list our sponsors out there, just like that ticker tape goes along. So we'd love to have everybody be a part of this show. The goal is to make this about pirates, pirate history, Florida, St. Augustine, and points beyond. Rum, which is a good thing, and history. So if anybody would like to join us, the door has now been opened. We would love to have you step through, be a part. And Max says yes. I believe that bell tells us it's time to say goodbye. So ladies and gentlemen, first I say thank you, Jason, for being a part of our show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite.
And to my crew, Mr. Navigator, start her off.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew.
Always for all of you. Cheers until next week.
Cheers.